Most money-saving advice focuses on cutting corners where you can, but the real key to saving money isn't only about the little hacks. It's also about how you think about it. Because if you're able to change your mindset, saving money will no longer feel like a struggle. In fact, it might become one of the easiest things you're able to do because it's going to be natural. So with all that being said, here are the only 3 money-saving tips that you need to hear. But before jumping in, don't forget to like and subscribe, and also check my description below for some money mindset growth tools. So first of all, if it takes mental gymnastics to justify a purchase, then you already know it's not a good buy. And a lot of you, I'm sure, know this moment all too well. So you go into the store and your whole goal is to go and pick up one item or maybe a handful of items, or maybe you do have a list of things. Maybe you're in the grocery store. Whatever, you go in there for something and you see something else that's not on your list. So you had no intentions of buying that item when you came into the store. It's not a need, it's barely even a want, but you see it and you gotta have it. And you pick it up. But instead of just putting it back on the shelf and staying focused, now you're starting to do like this mental tug of war with yourself. And you might come out and tell yourself, I do not need this item. But then you might follow that with, but it's on sale. So, I'm technically saving money, or, it's been a while since I've treated myself. And, I don't really need it, but it might be nice to have. So maybe I should just go ahead and get it just in case. But there is one crucial element about this exchange with yourself that a lot of people don't realize. If you have to convince yourself to buy something, that in itself is a sign that you shouldn't buy it. Because that hesitation is not random. That is literally your brain sending off warning signals telling you that you are about to make a purchase that might not align with your goals and priorities. But yet, like a lot of people, you're ignoring those signals and you're overriding it with excuses and artificial urgency. Even though you might have been down this exact road before, and that road led you to buyer's remorse. So going forward, pay attention to this behavior. And if you are not 100% convinced that you should buy something, don't leave out the store with it. Because your ability to be financially stable isn't necessarily about how much you make. It's about how many unnecessary purchases you don't make. And secondly, realize that it is possible to want something and still not buy it. I don't know what it is and why some people act like the moment they see something they like that they have to have it. So, you could be walking through a store and again, maybe you weren't planning on buying a pair of shoes that day, but you see a pair that you like and automatically it's almost like you start thinking that you have to have it, like you're supposed to have it, like you're entitled to that item. But of course, we know that's not realistic and it's not true because there's always going to be something you want. There's always going to be something that catches your eye. So I think going forward, if you really want to save money, you really have to embrace the concept of it is okay to appreciate and admire something and still not buy it. I mean, this can apply to anything, whether it's vacations, home decor, toys, because again, there is always going to be something new and exciting. But just because something looks good now doesn't mean that it fits into the bigger picture of who you are and where you want your life to go. If there are 2 people who earn roughly the same, live in the same area, and have very similar bills, yet one is financially stable and the other isn't, the main difference between these two is that the financially stable person is not going to let temporary wants distract them from their long-term goals. They understand that instant gratification is just that, instant, and it can fade very quickly. So the next time you find yourself caught up in the thrill of wanting something, take a step back, just a couple of minutes, and honestly ask yourself, is this something that I actually need or want? Or am I just getting caught up in the excitement? And finally, realize that the more money you keep, the less you'll spend. A lot of people think that the key to financial stability is simply earning more. But that's really only half of the equation, because if your spending always increases as your income does, you will always feel as if you need more. And it doesn't matter if you make $50,000 or $100,000. Every raise, bonus, or windfall will disappear as soon as it hits your account, and it will never feel as if you're getting ahead. And this is precisely why there are so many people who could be earning well over 6 figures living in areas that don't necessarily have a super high cost of living, yet they still feel broke. Because when it's all said and done, it's not only about earning more, it's also about being able to hold on to what you already have. And if you want to get creative, you can think about it this way. Every dollar that you don't spend is a dollar that you don't have to think about replacing. And the more you keep, the less pressure you'll feel to hustle and grind just to cover your expenses. And the truth is, that's what freedom and real stability looks like. And don't get me wrong, because increasing your income is never a bad thing. But before you convince yourself that you have to make more money before you can start saving, honestly consider whether you're making the most of what you already have. Because sometimes the biggest financial breakthrough isn't necessarily earning more, it's needing less.